So you just got your Demi in the mail and you are ready to go. The first things first, let's get your palette all set up. I want you to lay out all of your tins upside down and put them in piles according to their letters. They are labeled based on the color it is and the level of saturation. I like to put all of my R's in a pile and then O's and then Y's, G's, B's, and V's, just like the rainbow order Roy G. Biv. Once I have them in their color pile, I will then put them from least saturated to most. So the number 1 is going to be the least saturated. Think pastel colors. And the higher number, the more saturated and vibrant this shade will be. Once you have them laid out, you can put them in your palette. So the first row should be something like R1 or R01, and then the next can be O1, and go down the line from the rainbow. So once again, ROY, GBV. It's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. If you have a shade that has 2 letters in it, like RO1, then I would just put that in between the R1 and the O1. There really isn't a right or wrong way to set up your palette, but what's important is that you will be able to learn where they are, so you'll be able to remember that in the future. Once your palette's ready, let's grab those brushes and do our makeup. We are going to be doing a super simple basic Demi application today. I'm using the shape brush and I'm always starting out with my sculpting shade first. This shade usually starts with an N, which stands for neutral, and I will be using it on my hairline, my cheekbones, and my nose. When applying Demi, I cannot stress this enough, you want to use the littlest amount physically possible. We can always build, but when I say like the littlest amount possible, I truly mean it. So please use a light hand. This next step is optional. If you have a blush shade, this is when I would add my blush on. I'm still using the shape brush to apply. After blush, I like to tone my beard area since it is a little bit of green and blue. So I'm going to use the opposite color of green and blue, which is a red-orange. For this specific look, I'm using RO3. My under eye area tends to be a little bit of a green and blue as well, so I'll just use RO1 to lightly dust that area. Once I am all done toning and sculpting my face, now it's time to neutralize and filter any distractions. What I recommend doing is picking out only 3 sets of distractions and start there. For me, I'll be filtering out my blemishes, my nose area, and my under eye. This is the very last step of Demi, so make sure that your blush and your sculpting is all done. The first thing I'm going to focus on are my acne scars and blemishes. Unlike what we've been taught, acne scars are usually a purple and blue color. They're not usually red. So we want to use the opposite of purple and blue, which is yellow and orange. So the shade Y01 is a very popular shade to filter out those distractions. I am now using the spot brush and picking up the smallest amount of Y01 with the smaller end and just lightly applying it to any acne scars or blemishes on my face. Again, I'm using the smallest amount possible and I'm using a very light hand. I like to start at the top of my face and work my way down. I'll use the other end of my spot brush to lightly feather it in if I need any blending. For any distractions that are a little more fresh or they're maybe more saturated in color, I like to use the shade 03 to neutralize those distractions. The next distraction that I'm going to work on is my redness, quote unquote, around my nose. I say quote unquote because again, it's not actually red. It's usually more of a purple and blue. So I'm going to be using that Y01 again to neutralize that color around my nose. The last distraction I want to tackle is my under eye area. I'm using the shade 03 in the very corner of my eye where I have a very noticeable blue spot, and I'm using the spot brush to filter that away. Then I'll be taking Y01 again one more time and lightly dusting that under my eye area. As always, if you have any questions or need help, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. Make sure to follow me for more Demi videos.